ago, a great struggle unfolded, a time of turmoil where the force of freedom clashed against the oppressive grip of tyranny. This is the story of the Founding Fathers, the brave Jedi of the colonies, who dared to defy the dark side of the Redcoat Sith. Master George Washington, leader of the colonial Jedi, was no ordinary soldier. With a flintlock blaster in one hand, capable of delivering precise shots with the power of 1,000 musket balls, and a lightsaber forged from the ancient Liberty crystals, Washington was the beacon of hope in the darkness that covered the 13 colonies. And then there was Benjamin Franklin, the Yoda of the Revolution. Wise, cunning, and always a few steps ahead, Franklin's mind was sharper than his lightsaber, which he personally modified to discharge bolts of lightning, perfect for frying any Redcoat Sith foolish enough to cross his path. But the colonial Jedi were not without opposition. The Redcoat Sith, led by the Dark Lord Cornwallis, had crossed the Atlantic, bringing with them the dark side of taxation without representation. Their red lightsabers blazed like the very flames of oppression, ready to extinguish the light of liberty forever. The battles were fierce, and the stakes higher than the price of tea in Boston Harbor. At Bunker Hill, the colonial Jedi held their ground, their flintlock blasters firing energy bolts that could punch through the toughest redcoat armor. With each pull of the trigger, a burst of light and smoke, a fusion of the old and the new. And who could forget Thomas Jefferson, the Jedi Knight who penned the Declaration of Independence with one hand while wielding his lightsaber with the other? It was he who gave voice to the rebellion, declaring that all men are created equal, with the inalienable right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Or, in this case, the right to take down a few Sith Lords. The final battle came at Yorktown, where the forces of light and dark met in a cataclysmic struggle. Washington and Cornwallis, Jedi and Sith, fought with the full might of the Force behind them. Flintlock blasters cracked through the air like thunder, while lightsabers sliced through the gloom, each swing a testament to the fight for freedom. And when the dust settled, it was the colonial Jedi who stood victorious. Cornwallis defeated, surrendered, and the force of liberty triumphed over tyranny. The Sith were driven back across the sea, and a new hope was born, a republic where the force of freedom would reign supreme. But the story does not end there. Knowing that the dark side could rise again, the Founding Fathers, in their final moments, channeled all their power, their wisdom, and their hope for the future into one single powerful crystal, a crystal of liberty. They knew that one day the force of liberty would need a new champion, someone worthy to wield this ancient power and restore balance when the force of freedom was once again threatened. For generations, the crystal lay hidden, its power waiting for the right moment, the right person to awaken it. And then, one fateful day, it was discovered by a man named Austin Peterson, a libertarian, a modern-day freedom fighter who would fulfill the destiny set in motion centuries before. The crystal called to him, and with it, Austin took up the mantle of the colonial Jedi, determined to bring balance back to the force of liberty in the United States. Through his show, the Wake Up America show, Austin Peterson became the voice of resistance, the spark of rebellion against the creeping darkness of tyranny. With the power of the Founding Fathers' crystal, he fights not with lightsabers or blasters, but with the force of truth, reason, and unwavering dedication to the principles of liberty. So remember, young Padawan, the fight for freedom is never easy, but with courage, unity, and a little bit of force on your side, even the darkest Sith can be vanquished. May the force of freedom be with you, always. In a galaxy not so far away, but a couple of centuries ago, a great struggle unfolded, a time of turmoil where the force of freedom clashed against the oppressive grip of tyranny. This is the story of the Founding Fathers, the brave Jedi of the colonies, who dared to defy the dark side of the Redcoat Sith. Master George Washington, leader of the colonial Jedi, was no ordinary soldier. With a flintlock blaster in one hand, capable of delivering precise shots with the power of 1,000 musket balls, and a lightsaber forged from the ancient Liberty crystals, Washington was the beacon of hope in the darkness that covered the 13 colonies. And then there was Benjamin Franklin, the Yoda of the Revolution. Wise, cunning, and always a few steps ahead, Franklin's mind was sharper than his lightsaber, which he personally modified to discharge bolts of lightning, perfect for frying any Redcoat Sith foolish enough to cross his path. But the colonial Jedi were not without opposition. The Redcoat Sith, led by the Dark Lord Cornwallis, had crossed the Atlantic, bringing with them the dark side of taxation without representation. Their red lightsabers blazed like the very flames of oppression, ready to extinguish the light of liberty forever. The battles were fierce, and the stakes higher than the price of tea in Boston Harbor. At Bunker Hill, the colonial Jedi held their ground, their flintlock blasters firing energy bolts that could punch through the toughest redcoat armor. With each pull of the trigger, a burst of light and smoke, a fusion of the old and the new. And who could forget Thomas Jefferson, the Jedi Knight who penned the Declaration of Independence with one hand while...
Good morning. Rise in freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network. Good morning. Good morning. Glad that you're here. It's nice to see Drew Van Runkle over in the chat saying, not to be a downer, but I need to check into detox. You okay, Drew? We love you, buddy. Check in with us. We're your friends. Is everything cool? Get some help if you need it. We want everybody here to be healthy and safe and to enjoy the things that the vices that libertarians fight for responsibly. Can I get an amen? It's Thursday, almost Friday. We've almost made it through the week. We're going to get you there. Tomorrow's going to be so much fun. We always love Freedom Family Friday, but today's Thirsty Thursday. Yes, we're excited. However, it's not quite so thirsty. Daniela Pensack will not be joining us today. Some people are saying in the chat that they're having some problems with the chat. It looks like lots of people are having problems with the chat. Just do a quick little refresh, close the app, and then restart it. Sometimes you have to do like a hard manual reset of the app. If you don't know how to do that, usually just like hold the app down, click on the button for the app, hold it, and then it'll be like, force close kind of a thing. Who knows? Update your browsers, other people say. A lot of people are on mobile phones. I'd love for you guys, if you're watching me live right now, check in. Let me know. Are you on a phone or are you on like a TV set? I'd love to get a little data. Give me your data. Mobile or on computer or big TV. Love to hear how you are watching or listening to the Wake Up America show. Let me know. We do have, of course, for Thirsty Thursday, it's a little thirsty, with Chamilia Peterson joining us at 8 a.m. to talk about Taylor Swift endorsing Donald Trump, what that really means, and the cult of the Sacred Vagina. Yes, I think it's one of those topics that's definitely going to make Chamilia blush, and so we're going to talk to her about that. Today is a really special segment that we're going to do with my good friend from Southwest Missouri, Ben Baker. Missouri State Rep Ben Baker, as you know, had an unfortunate incident earlier this year, when his daughter and her husband were brutally murdered in Haiti while on a Christian mission. And we're all talking about Springfield, Ohio, and what's going on there with the Haitian population of 20,000 migrants who have been dropped off in Springfield, Ohio. There have been many rumors about what has been going on. One thing is for certain, at least one person is dead. I have a clip from a gentleman who it appears to be the parent of the murdered individual, who you will not believe what he has to say. I mean, it's so unbelievable what this person said that it's going to blow your mind when I show you this clip of what this murder victim's father said at a city council meeting about their child who was murdered. And so we're going to have Ben Baker on the show today at 7:20, a little bit earlier than we would typically have a guest. So it's very special. He'll be here about 15 minutes from now. A very special interview joining us, very special guest on a very special topic. Ben Baker will join us at 7:20 on the phone. It's going to be interesting. At 8, we've got Chamilia. We're going to have a lot of laughs and fun there. Unfortunately, no Daniela, but I think we'll have plenty of content to talk about. I actually have a really fun little surprise for you on the show today, and you don't even have to pay for it. Yes. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to unlock it. Just something a little bit extra fun for you guys. But of course, we do have the unlockable bonus content available on the For Liberty Network's Wake Up America show. If you'd like to see today's bonus content, this is fun. Today's bonus content has a special celebrity angle to it. I've got the bonus content, which is fun and special. I've got another surprise for you guys for free for fun and special later in the show. I've got an incredible guest for you today. The Wake Up America show is going to kill it. You do not want to miss a minute of today's show. First, we have Ben Baker, then Chamilia talking about the cult of the sacred vagina. I mean, do you get shows like this anywhere else? So you should do a Rumble rant or a YouTube super chat or go to forlibertyshop.com and unlock that bonus content.
Can you
right
bless
meow.
me with something?
Oh, gosh.
Money-wise.
What?
Please.
Can you suck it?
What?
The Wake Up America show brought to you by viewers and listeners like you who click the like button. I want you to Pokemon Go like to the polls and click the follow button as well if today's your first time watching the Wake Up America show and you end up enjoying yourself. We always have a great time, 5 days a week, Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. It's a great way to start your show. Join the community. Join us on Locals right underneath the Rumble live stream. We'd love to have you be one of our friends. Will you be our friends? Looks like everybody's having some problems with chat today. I got to try not to focus on that because I got to get into the coverage. We obviously have a lot to discuss today. You get some special surprises. So I'm saying if you can, get them Rumble rants flowing. Also, Laura Loomer and Marjorie Taylor Green are in a cat fight. It's kind of funny and sad and also hilarious. Joe Biden, how is he doing? Everybody's like forgotten about him. Is he still president of the United States? Who's running the show over there? Probably the same people that are going to be running the show when Kamala Harris gets in office. But I thought this moment that Joe Biden shared with a Trump supporter was actually kind of sweet. Take a listen.
Trump hat, I'll give you my presidential hat. Presidential seal on it.
You want to autograph it?
Oh, sure, I'll autograph it.
Huh?
Yeah.
You remember your name?
I don't remember my name. I'm slow.
You're an old part.
That's good.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm an old guy.
And you're an old part.
I know you would know about that.
What?
About being old.
Oh, I know.
All right.
I'm a young timer. Huh?
You know, he reminds me of the guys I grew up with. There was always one in the neighborhood.
Well, I'm the only one.
There you go, man. I need that hat.
You want my autograph?
Hell no.
Come
That's
on.
funny.
I ain't going that far.
Yeah. You would do a selfie.
There he goes. It's a shame what they did to him.
Just remember, no eating dogs and cats.
No eating dogs or cats. Honestly, Joe, good joke. Good joke. This is the best he's been in 50 years, says Floby Tenderson. I agree. Well, there's a lot of fun stuff to cover on the Wake Up America show, and there's also some very serious stuff. The interesting thing about this story about the father of Aiden Clark, who was the victim of a murder in Springfield. He was killed by a Haitian illegal. This is a very serious subject for Ben Baker, who's going to be joining us here in less than 10 minutes to talk about this, who, of course, his daughter was murdered in Haiti. So a gruesome, graphic, and reprehensible tale of people who were just trying to do some good for the people of Haiti. And contrast that father of a Haitian murder victim with this father of a Haitian murder victim. Take a listen to this. You're not going to believe it.
We felt it would be in our best interest to be here after recent comments. You know, I wish that my son, Aiden Clark, was killed by a 60-year-old white man. I bet you never thought anyone would ever say something so blunt.
Or terrible, or horrible, or disgusting. I want to be careful with this. And when I say careful, I just want to make sure that I say the right thing and not let my own emotions override my common sense when looking at a consideration like this. Now, this is a man who has lost his son. And I can tell you that when you lose a close family member like that, if you have never had something like that, a member of your immediate family, or lost a son or daughter, you will say or do irrational things. And this is obviously completely irrational. And this person is broken, right? The father of his son, he's lost his son. He is a broken man. And broken people are the tools of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party would not exist today if they didn't prey upon the dysfunctional, the mentally ill, the gullible, the easily misled, the snake oil, so the easily charmed by snake oil. They have a predatory class of Democrats that feasts on the flesh of their own children, the devouring mothers, the absentee fathers, or in this situation, a broken father who is a pawn or a tool for an agenda of someone else, of these elites who have captured the zeitgeist of our country and done so by buying it with cash, and many of them are colluding with foreigners to undermine American democratic processes, to lie to us, to brainwash us. This is a man who's broken. And the Democratic Party swoops in on broken men like this and uses them for their own devices. They are tools, pawns. They are the dumb men, that they are the useful idiots of the Democratic regime. And I understand saying things that you don't mean when you're in that situation. Lord knows, when my mother died when I was a young man, our family, we had fights after mom was gone. My father said irrational things. I said irrational things. We were grieving. We were broken. Missouri State Representative Ben Baker knows that feeling, that hurt, that pain. His daughter was murdered earlier this year on a Christian missionary trip to Haiti to try and help the citizens of that country. Now those citizens are coming here to the United States, and I wonder what Ben Baker has to say about that. This next segment should be absolutely riveting. I'm inviting you to please stay. Don't go away. I do have to play commercials just for the simple fact that I don't have a producer, so I have to get somebody on the phone, and it's all me here. So please do click that like button and get ready for a conversation unlike anything you're going to hear in news, politics, or talk today. We'll be right back on the Wake Up America show with Ben Baker on the 4 Liberty Network.
Jump, and I approve this message. Believe me, Austin Peterson is the best. He's got the greatest Wake Up America show I've ever seen. Whenever I tune in the mornings and watch the live stream, let me tell you, he has got the absolute best content. I love his guests. It's just a total blast to watch, and I highly endorse and recommend the Wake Up America show. It's terrific, believe me.
Is the outdoor of your home about as exciting as a library? Then spice it up and unbore your space with our custom metal signs. Crafted with love and a bit of libertarian magic, you can customize your own metal sign at ap4libertyshop.com. So head to ap4libertyshop.com, customize your own metal sign today.
Welcome to a world of vocal discovery at Peterson Voice Studio. I'm Justin Peterson, here to guide your musical journey. Envision a place where your voice reaches new heights, where every note tells a story. We embrace all singers, from the enthusiastic shower vocalists to aspiring stars, ensuring each voice finds its unique rhythm and tone. Are you ready to elevate your voice? Visit petersonvoicestudio.com and sign up for remote lessons tailored just for you. Let's begin this melodious journey together.
Tired Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Get your day started with Washington's revolutionary roast. As robust and principled as the man himself, this blend is the shot of energy heard round the world. Or maybe you want to taste the fervor of freedom with Adams's patriotic perk. It's as dynamic and balanced as the U.S. Constitution, sure to awaken your spirit of liberty. For the aficionados, we've got the Jeffersonian Java, a complex mix of flavors that speaks volumes about your refined tastes. And don't forget Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, our decaf option, crafted with the same care and dedication Betsy Ross put into our Star-Spangled Banner. This blend lets you enjoy the taste of freedom anytime without losing sleep. No woke beans here, folks, just pure patriotic pro-freedom flavors brewed with love for liberty. So why compromise your principles for a cup of coffee? Stand up for your values, perk up your patriotism, and start your day the American way. Get your founding flavors at apforlibertyshop.com.
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network. Forget the cats and dogs. A man is dead. Haitian immigrant in Ohio kills a man. What does the father have to say about it? He goes to a town hall and says, I wish a 60-year-old white man had killed my son instead of a Haitian immigrant. Click that like button and don't forget to follow before you leave the show today. The Wake Up America show brings you some of the best content and the best interviews, the most timely interviews that you're going to find when it comes to Wake Up talk shows. We stand for economic freedom and personal liberty. Our next guest, Representative Ben Baker from the state of Missouri, a friend of mine, suffered a terrible tragedy when earlier this year on a Christian missionary trip to Haiti, they were brutally murdered during an insurrection and uprising. That country is now still embroiled in chaos. Why should we bring these people here to the United States? Joining us now to discuss this, and obviously a very sensitive and delicate topic, is my friend, Missouri State Representative Ben Baker. Ben, good morning. Thank you for coming on and being courageous enough to breach this topic with us this morning.
Thanks for having me on, Austin. I think it's important that we talk about it, as difficult as it is at times.
How do you react to the 20,000 Haitian immigrants who have been dumped off in Springfield, Ohio, who are driving cars into the side of buildings, who are causing mayhem in general, murdering American citizens? How do you feel about that situation specifically?
Yeah, so I have a lot to say about it for various reasons. But, you've dumped 20,000 Haitian immigrants in a town of just over 50,000 people in Ohio. There, it shouldn't surprise anyone that it could cause problems, and I happen to know quite a bit about Haitian culture. Haiti happens to be one of the countries where Biden changed the rules for immigrants seeking asylum. After my daughter and son-in-law, who were full-time missionaries there in Haiti, were brutally murdered by gangs. This was back in May. I actually traveled over there to help check on all the kids where Davey and Natalie worked as missionaries that were under their care. They were displaced temporarily after all that happened. And when I left there, Austin, the planes were full every day, several planes that left Port-au-Prince every day with Haitian immigrants holding a piece of paper that they call a Biden visa, giving them up to 2 years of asylum in the United States of America. And most of those people are completely unvetted in this process. And when you have a country like Haiti where everything is corrupt, who do you imagine is getting the asylum? Is it the innocent people? Is it the people who are truly hurting because of what's going on in Haiti? No, it's the gangs, it's the criminals in many cases. It's not the people who really need asylum. And this idea that we think that when they get here, they're just going to immediately assimilate to our culture of law and order, they won't do that. Lawlessness is all that they know in these countries. And the same mentality of the evil people who senselessly murdered Davy and Natalie is the same mentality of many of these people that are here. They're living in our neighborhoods. And yes, my heart goes out to the innocent people, especially the kids there that have been left by these people, that have been abandoned by these people who do not care enough to take care of their own children. But we can't allow them to come here unvetted either. And this administration has done just that. To be honest, it's really frustrating to me that just now people are finding out that their behavior is not acceptable. And it had to be, of course, eating pets before people would wake up and realize that this will not work. It's not compatible. And this is nothing, though, compared to other behaviors. Some of these people practice cannibalism. In some cases, they practice voodoo that is not compatible with our American values. And the immigration policy or lack thereof from this administration is destroying our country. So what you're seeing play out, I think, is important to bring to light, because the only way we're going to change this and do anything about it is for people to wake up.
Is it ridiculous for people to assume that Haitian migrants might be consuming the domesticated animals of Springfield, Ohio? Is that a ridiculous assumption?
That's not ridiculous at all. That's a way of life for these people. And that's what, they're just practicing what they know and what they came from when they get here. That's what I'm trying to say with this. This is not anything outside of the realm. This is not crazy at all in Haiti. But it's much worse than just eating people's pets and the ducks from the public park. Obviously it's resulted in murder. It's resulted in people being killed. It's resulted in much worse situations. And I think you're going to see more of that unless we do something about it.
Ben, the father who lost his son, you being in a similar situation, I can imagine that you empathize, but you must have also thought it was a ridiculous statement for the father of the victim to say that he wished that his son was killed by a 60-year-old white man. What was your reaction to that?
I couldn't believe it, Austin. When I watched this, I've never heard anything so ridiculous, in my opinion. And look, my heart goes out to this father who's lost their child. I understand what that's like. But this trying to virtue signal that because people are bringing to light the real problems with the mass unvetted illegal immigration that's going on, that it's divisive, or it's racist, or it's making all Haitians out to be bad people, or that they're politicizing the death of his son, is ridiculous. It's just a matter of fact. It needs to be talked about. Does he not realize that it was immigration policy that's a big part of what caused the death of his own son? It doesn't matter what country they're from or what the color of skin might be. It's a fact that is taking place in our country right now. And the only way to fix it is to bring it to light and to inform people of what is happening with this. And I'm so sick of this weak approach that people just be real, tell the truth. It's not divisive to point out concerns with this terrible immigration policy or any other policy. It actually means that you're truly concerned for the public safety and for the citizens of our country and our communities. It's actually virtuous to tell the truth, because if the truth is not made known, you can't address the issues. And look, I'm committed to helping the people of Haiti that want to be helped, because my kids were. They gave their lives for it. But I'm absolutely not okay with them coming here unvetted, and now we're seeing why. And if it isn't addressed, like I said, we're going to hear much worse. And I think the hypocrisy of this administration, this failed administration, is important to point out as well. They left our kids to die in Haiti, did nothing about it when they could have easily. But they want to help Haitians come here by the thousands without any vetting. It's so ridiculous, and it's so wrong, in my opinion.
If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show, I'm speaking to Missouri State Representative Ben Baker. We only have him for maybe about several more minutes before he's got to run to another interview. Ben, this is a very sensitive question on this one. I think you know where I'm coming from with this one. You remember, of course, as a pastor, the story. Was it Isaac, or who was it? Abraham that was supposed to sacrifice his son, and God stayed his hand at the last moment.
Yes.
His son Isaac. Do you feel in such a way that God has tested you through this, but instead of saving your daughter, he has taken her in such a way? And if I were in your shoes, I would feel cheated. I would feel anger at the person who took her, in a sense, right? There's the murderers, but I mean, you're a man of God, Ben. Do you feel any anger or hostility at your creator for something like this?
So, Austin, as a human being, all of those emotions are a reality when it comes to this kind of situation. I have felt all of those. I felt anger. I felt sorrow. I felt the deepest sorrow that I never could imagine I could even feel with this. And yes, there is anger toward those that did this, and there is a sense of I want justice for my kids and what happened there. It's an unbelievably brutal thing that happened, and I think those people should be brought to justice. And the only way to deal with that kind of evil is to kill them and to remove them from this situation. It's the only hope that Haiti has, is to get rid of these gangs. I believe in the sovereignty of God, and it's difficult. It's extremely difficult sometimes to grapple with that and trust a God that makes decisions that we don't understand. But that's a part of life. It's a part of the Christian, understanding of truth and believing that.
Do the people of Haiti, people of Haiti sort of demonstrate the inability for all humans to essentially self-govern, though, Ben? I mean, when you look at a situation like that, you wonder if things like colonialism or imperialism during the early 1900s wasn't necessarily a better situation than the cannibal warlords of Haiti that we have right now, right? All men are created equal, endowed with the same individual natural rights. Self-government is what we are aiming for, but that clearly doesn't exist there, Ben. How do we square these values and principles that we hold, our constitutional values and belief in individual rights, with the chaos and the hellhole that is Haiti to the south of the United States?
Yeah, so if you look at the history of Haiti, it's a vicious cycle, and it's because of evil people that are in power. And it's not too far removed, Austin, from what's happening in our own country. There are people in power, places of power, that make decisions that have a major effect on its people. Haiti's much further down the road than we are, but if we keep going in this direction, it's going to be similar. And it goes back to people that only care for themselves, that get into those positions of power, and they truly do not care for the well-being of their own people. And it's heartbreaking to see that when there are innocent people who would be governed if the right people would lead in the right way. But it hasn't ever really happened there. If you look at their history, it really hasn't. And the people suffer because of it. And it just keeps getting worse. And it is. It seems like a very hopeless situation. But, again, is it something that you just cast aside and say there's no hope, so we don't try?
Maybe.
I don't think we do that either.
Well, I think actually that might be just where I disagree with you, Ben. I think people should be, of course, allowed to do charity, free to do charity. And I appreciate what people like Lottie Moon and other missionaries do to help people in the world, and the amount of charity that's being done in China, for example. But sometimes I see Christians who go into situations like uncontacted tribes, and they go out there and they get murdered in these situations. And I just am like, no, like we shouldn't be encouraging this. We shouldn't be, because here's the thing, Ben, they're not worth it. They're not. History is also replete with lost civilizations that have gone the wayside and have disappeared. The United States would be far better off without Haiti infesting us with danger and disease that the Democrats can inflict on us. Right? It's a rat's nest of, like you say, of voodoo, of eating pets and cats and dogs. And that I understand, like, it's a heroic image to send someone in to bring some light and to help children and to do wonderful work. And I agree with that. but not to send people into the meat grinder. Some situations you have to cut your losses, and I don't know what needs to be done with Haiti, but I just don't think it's worth it for people to go into there. I know you disagree, Ben, and I'll give you the final word before you go on this one, but I mean, you don't believe, I guess, in lost causes, maybe.
Well, and that's the thing in our, human mind, and it doesn't make common sense necessarily. But I truly do believe that, people's soul is worth reaching, no matter how difficult it is to do that, and history has bore that out. Thankfully, there was someone who reached out to me. Thankfully, there was someone who reached out to my ancestors, and brought the gospel and brought the truth to them, or else I wouldn't. Somebody could say I'm not worth the cause. So
well, were your ancestors cannibal warlords, though? I mean, bringing the good word, I completely understand, to like peaceful, docile civilizations who, take it up, like, in the Philippines and places like that. Although there still were the Moro wars and a lot of problems with the colonization of the Philippines, of course, with Christianity. And there was the Boxer War in China. I'm sure well that history of the United States. But I mean, I just, my heart bleeds for you and for Naomi and for your family and what you've gone through, Ben. And I wish that there was a way to take it back. And what I see happening now, I think we can both agree, is that what's happening in Springfield, Ohio, absolutely needs to stop.
I agree with that. Absolutely, 100%. And the only way for one thing, the only way we turn this around is we vote for Donald Trump. He right now in this race, there's no greater contrast between these candidates. And I do believe he can address it and will address it. And I believe the other party absolutely will not.
Interesting. Very emotional topic. And thanks so much for being so courageous to come up here and talk with it. And hear me, sometimes say some things that I know, Ben, you probably don't, it doesn't make you feel good. But
okay.
These are important conversations. And
they are.
And I'm grateful for your friendship, Ben. Please give my love to Naomi. And I wish you guys continued healing. Hope to see you soon.
Okay. Appreciate you. Have a great day, Austin.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. That's Ben Baker, Missouri State Representative. Let's give him a round of applause. That's a tough conversation, man. That is a tough conversation, because I have a positive, healthy relationship with him and with his family. And I admire Ben and his family and what they've accomplished. And just seeing what happened in Haiti to their daughter and son-in-law was just horrific and tragic. And it's just really hit our state hard. Ben, being a state representative, has acquaintances and is collegiate with many people across the state of Missouri. I'm here in Jefferson City, Missouri, which is the capital, so I will sometimes see Ben Baker at events from time to time here. He was the one of the only people of his stature to endorse me here in the state of Missouri for my 2018 Senate run, and I will never forget that, and will always appreciate that for him. But I told him that it was going to be a tough conversation, and I might challenge him on a thing or two. And I know that probably most of my audience agrees with Ben, not with myself on this situation. That's the one thing that you have to understand. Let's see. Matt over at YouTube. I see a lot of people were complaining about Rumble chat this morning. Hopefully we will get that fixed. Good morning, everybody. Click the like button if you enjoy these conversations. Some of this might make you uncomfortable. And if it does make you uncomfortable, then you're in the right place, because why would you want to listen to conversations that make you feel comfortable all the time? This is a place for dangerous conversations and dangerous questions. And those who know me know that even my good friends, people like Tony Lavasco yesterday or Ben Baker today, will get difficult questions if it is pushed on my heart to ask these kinds of questions. It does look as if the Rumble chat is working, but I'm not exactly sure if it's working in the Rumble app. So guys, FYI, we've got bonus content for you today and a special surprise later. Lots of great stuff going on. Chamilia Peterson coming up. We're going to lighten the mood, lighten the air, right? It's time to lighten up. And we're going to talk about The Cult of the Sacred Vagina with Chamilia. That's going to be funny. So if you guys want to see the bonus content today, make sure you get those Rumble Rant donations in. If we hit $60 by the end of the show, then you get to see the bonus content today, which is cool. It's got a celebrity twist. It's a little 5-minute mini documentary about news you can use or stories that you might not have heard. And if you'd like to unlock that bonus content instead of watching commercials, head on over to either Rumble Rant, do a Rumble Rant, or head over to YouTube and do super chats. You can do it there. My thing that I think you guys really would appreciate is going to forlibertyshop.com. That's the number 4 libertyshop.com. If you go to forlibertyshop.com, then you guys can purchase merch, and that counts towards the $60 goal. So why don't you guys just head on over there to forlibertyshop.com and you guys make some purchases like some delicious Founding Flavors coffee or some t-shirts. There we go. Joshua Butcher over on YouTube says we have people here who need help. Absolutely true. Ray J's World. Nice to see you, brother. Said Austin is the guy to listen to during crappy stuff. Sounds like a compliment, but I'm not quite sure. As usual, I have a million billion clips before Chamilia comes up on the show today. Here is a Haitian immigrant to the United States talking about her and her father.
My father immigrated from Haiti to the United States in the late 60s as a teenager. And I want to talk about these recent comments about the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio. First, I want to say my father and I are now estranged, but I did know him in my very, very young years. And when he immigrated, he was one person and they weren't sending, thousands of Haitians in one area. He wasn't eating people's pets and he didn't practice voodoo. But he did say that most of the island, the majority of the island, does practice voodoo. The reason they eat cats is for 2 reasons. Number 1 is survival. This is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. You can't just go to a food bank like you can here or just go to McDonald's and get some free or cheap food. Unless, of course, there's a Christian missionary there. People in the United States have a really hard time imagining that type of thing, but it is true. Second, they do animal sacrifices for their religion, voodoo. They make these animal sacrifices to these gods for different reasons. You can do your own research on this. Do I think voodoo is a demonic religion? Yes, I do. That doesn't mean that you hate these people. These people need prayer. But you can't just take over all these people from another country and expect it to work. Not to mention it doesn't fix the problems of that country. And there's more people left in Haiti that we can bring over. It's not racist to acknowledge that this is a problem. It's not racist to talk about these things that are happening. This is not just white Americans saying this is black Americans. You can look at the people in Springfield, Ohio saying that this is happening. Y'all just want to joke about Trump and say that he's crazy for saying that this is happening instead of actually checking at all to see if this is happening. You want to make jokes about these things. Well, what if it were happening to you and your community? And no, it's beyond eating their pets, even though that is bad enough.
Yeah. The people who aren't concerned are the people who are not being affected by this. And I've had so many people in the last 4 to 5 years contact me from cities like Denver, Colorado, and New York City and tell me, Austin, this is a problem. This has changed my attitude when it comes to immigration. In the streets of Denver, Colorado are lined with immigrants, illegal and otherwise. The federal government has brought here and is subsidizing here with our tax dollars, which absolutely should not be happening. Where else are you going to hear content like what you just heard and the interview that we just had with Ben Baker? Where else are you going to get great guests like Chamilia Peterson? It's just the Wake Up America show. So make sure you get those Rumble Rant donations in, guys. Support the show that helps to entertain and inform you 5 days a week here on the Wake Up America show. Our bonus content program has been very successful, and we don't want today to be the day that we don't unlock the bonus content. So I say head to forlibertyshop.com right now. Our Halloween merch is getting spicy. It's tasty. It's delicious. It's very Halloweeny. Head over to forlibertyshop.com. Joshua Butcher over on YouTube. He says, love you, Austin. Supported you in 2016, even though I couldn't vote. Womp womp. Yeah, I would have won the presidential election if all my voters were old enough to vote. L Dubs 78 in the house this morning. What's up, Clifford Miller? Nice to see you, brother. Will Run Riot, Bruce Burtwhistle, Cecilia H, Mighty Megatron, A How 319. How A How. Joni Rankin looking lovely as usual. Cecilia H is here. Hi, Cece. Mighty Megatron, Blue Sky, Drew Van Runkle, Dad Bod Baboon. I love seeing all of the names and faces over here. I wish I could see him as well over on X. Over on x.com, I can't see people's names or faces. The chats don't really, I guess they're not as fun or what have you, or it's like verified only. I don't know how to change that. So in theory, I would prefer that anybody just be able to chat over on x.com. There's 523 viewers there, but it's verified only. So I guess it's probably just to keep spammers from spamming in there, but it really does keep the numbers down for chatters over on X, which is why I highly recommend you visit rumble.com/AP for Liberty if you're not already. If you're watching us on X, I understand. Please do join us at Rumble sometime. That's the way to go. At rumble.com/AP for Liberty. That's rumble.com/AP for Liberty. Yeah, I'm getting all your messages about the network errors that you guys are seeing over there for the Rumble comments this morning. Sorry, do my best. Ray J's World says, I'm a year older than you, Austin, and I supported you in 2016. Oh. Wait, no. Aw button. Cecilia says, I will buy a shirt at For Liberty if you never call me CC again. Nails on the chalkboard. Okay. Whoa. Cecilia. Yes, thank you very much. That'll help to unlock the bonus content. I'm nervous to see it because I don't know if we've had. Yeah, we did have one. Cecilia, she did the one $5 donation. So $55 left to go to unlock it. We've got time. And not only do I have bonus content, but I have a surprise for you later. I'm really excited about it. So you guys get to see that no matter what. That'll be a lot of fun because Daniela's not here today. So I've got this backup that's going to be really neat. We're going to have a good time. But that's going to be at like 8:30, so like 45 minutes from now. Make sure you stick around for that. Chamilia will be joining us in 15 minutes to talk about Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala Harris. And the politics of that and the cult of the sacred vagina. What? Mongoose87 says, I'm a Christian. Hard for me to say we should not give up on witnessing to the people of Haiti because I do not have the courage or desire to go myself. Well, you know what? Good for you for being honest about it. Good for you. Whoa. Why did you push that button, Austin? I meant to. I didn't mean to push that button. But while we're here, my soundboard. New people who watch the show are like will be like, I don't like the soundboard, and I'm like, get out. We're enjoying ourselves. We're never getting rid of the soundboard. It's fun.
Please, no.
Have a laugh. Like if you want to watch a serious guy in a suit and a tie, reading you your BS mainstream media crap in the morning, then you've got the mainstream media. Or if you want to watch some serious like angry alternative media host like the World War III is coming, you're in the wrong place. We're goofballs over here. We like to joke around. We talk about serious subjects, absolutely, but we try not to take everything so seriously, right? This is the non-stick up our butt For Liberty show. Wake Up America. Everybody has to lighten up, right? And so I degas everybody who comes in. I gas you up, right? You come in, if you're full of gas, right? I might pop your balloon and just kind of, just take like, 10 to 15 milliliters off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just take the gay lighting, though. The gay lighting. Yes, the gay lighting. Personally, I think this This show rocks. I mean, look at my awesome logo up here. I did all of this myself. 100% of this is all designed by me. I got my sweet little name down there. I put that one, dropped that one in today. That's new. Text line open right down at the bottom of the screen. I got 2 awesome monitors rocking out my synth wave in the background. I mean, this show freaking rocks. Blue Trike says, it took me a while to get used to the soundboard, but to be honest, I think I'd miss it if I were gone. Thank you. Exactly. Right. That's kind of the thing, is it's just like me. I'm an acquired taste. But once you get into it, it's kind of like it becomes punchlines. It becomes jokes. You just have to kind of like lighten up. You don't have to like it, but accept it. Accept it. Macho Man Randy Savage. In light of the spirit of 50 billion million clips. Oh, how did JD Vance react to being grilled by CNN about the kitties and the puppies and the doggies eaten by voodoo? It's voodoo. Here we go. I stole that as voodoo line from Gavin McInnes.
I would say is he brought up this misleading false claim that you yourself have talked about in recent days about Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, abducting people's pets and eating them, which officials there have said is not true. You yourself acknowledged it may be false on Twitter. You still told people to keep spreading it. But Trump just amplified it to tens of millions of people who were watching. Why push something that's not true?
Well, first of all, city officials have not said it's not true. They've said they don't have all the evidence.
They said they have no evidence.
We've heard from a number of constituents on the ground, Caitlin, who both firsthand and secondhand reports saying this stuff is happening. So they very clearly, meaning the people on the ground dealing with this, think that it is happening. And I think that it's important for journalists to actually get on the ground and uncover this stuff for themselves when you have a lot of people saying, my pets are being abducted, or geese at the city pond are being abducted and slaughtered right in front of us. This is crazy stuff. And again, whether those exact rumors turn out to be mostly true, somewhat true, whatever the case may be, Caitlin, this town has been ravaged by 20,000 migrants coming in. Healthcare costs are up. Housing costs are up. Communicable diseases like HIV and TB have skyrocketed in this small Ohio town. This is what Kamala Harris's border policies have done. And I think it's interesting, Caitlin, that the media didn't care about the carnage wrought by these policies until we turned it into a meme about cats. And that speaks to the media's failure to care about what's going on in these communities. If we have to meme about it,
I'm trying to shut him up so bad.
The media to care. We're going to keep on doing it because the media should care about what's going on.
Yes, I am convinced. JD Vance. I was like, that man can handle it. That man can handle his stuff. That's the kind of response I want to hear. He's talking about how we're memeing it. We're going to continue to meme it to get the message out. Talk about what's happening in the cities. The HIV is up. Hospital visits. Time to get a hospital visit is way down. Danger, murder happening in our communities. And this guy, not only does he push back on their accusations with an accurate analysis of the situation on hand, he hits the real issues, the right issues, and then defends his base, people like us who are the memers. The memers, the dreamers, the puppy and cat dog schemers. Beautiful stuff, right? We've got all the best clips on the Wake Up America show, GD it. And hello to my favorite lovely little lady, Dino Houston, this morning. Hello, Dino. You look mighty cute in your polka dot bikini, girl. Thank you for that Rumble Rant donation. You're back. You're a goofball too, she says. That's lovely. Somebody went to forlibertyshop.com. They went to Jared's? No, don't want anything from Jared's. He got his jewelry from forlibertyshop.com. Oh my God. So hot right now. Thank you very much, Cecilia. She went over to forlibertyshop.com and she bit the big one. No, just kidding. She made a nice purchase this morning. Helped unlock that bonus content. We are, let's see, at this point, we are $3 away from the bonus content total. There you go. You guys wanted to do today. You want to do today right? Because listen, Chamilia is going to be here in like less than 10 minutes, okay? And we're going to talk about the cult of the sacred vagina. Plus, I have a surprise for you later that's going to take a little bit of time. It's nothing huge or anything, but it's just something cool and new. And I think you're going to love it. So let's lock in this bonus content now. Somebody else just donates $5. That's it. We got the bonus content unlocked. So I can play that for you before we go to Chamilia in less than 10 minutes. I got so many freaking spinning plates happening right now. Then Chamilia comes in. We talk about Taylor Swift endorsing Joe Biden and the impact of that, the cult of the sacred vagina. Then after that, I've got the surprise for you. So we've got a lot to pack in. So let's hit that goal right now. Unlock the bonus content so we can... Shut up, Kamala. It's going to be a great little 5-minute bonus content segment. Somebody did it. There we did it. Went to forlibertyshop.com. Thank you, Andy. You rock, man. So the Wake Up America show was brought to you, of course, by the viewers and listeners just like you. Make sure you click that like button and follow. You guys get the bonus content now. It is unlocked. We are very happy to do that. Goodness gracious, guys. There's so much exciting stuff happening. So many plates spinning in the air. I have a billion clips to play. I don't know if I'm going to get to all of them. Oh, the Laura Loomer story. This one I'll just hit for a few brief minutes because I bet Chamilia will have something to say about this. Speaking of sacred vaginas, just kidding. Marjorie Taylor Green has called Laura Loomer a racist. Wait a minute, what? Are we flinging around racist with a hard R these days?
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Yes, it does, Norm. Thank you very much. Oh, somebody else went to forlibertyshop.com. They went to Jared's? No. They went to forlibertyshop.com to get their sweet merchandise. We got, I think, like an End the Fed necklace. Beautiful necklace. And a Viva la Libertad Carajo necklace. Ladies, if you're into jewelry, libertarian jewelry, probably the only shop in the freaking country that does that. So anyways, I'm just laughing at this and it's gossip, but it's Marjorie Taylor Green who is calling out Laura Loomer, saying that Laura Loomer's tweet is extremely racist. What was the tweet that Laura Loomer said? And here's, if it's funny enough, then we can say it's not racist. If Kamala Harris wins, says Laura Loomer, the White House will smell like curry and White House speeches will be facilitated via a call center, and the American people will only be able to convey their feedback through a customer satisfaction survey at the end of the call that nobody will understand. Is that funny? Is that funny to you? Do I amuse you like a clown? Well, you think that's funny? It's the Wake Up America show. It's everything is funny. I don't know. I mean, I would put that, obviously a joke, but I would put that at like maybe a 5 out of 10 humor. Most of the Indian people that I've known in my life have a pretty good sense of humor about things. Like the best is I used to work on the job sites with my dad, Stonegate Farm and Nursery. And when I was a kid, like in the 90s, early 90s, when I started doing landscaping work, man, those Mexicans had the filthiest mouth and they were talking P word that and C word this, D word, S word. I mean, every cuss word that I learned from the Mexican immigrants who came to work in the early 90s for my dad. It was just a very interesting time to blossom. And then you would go in to the back of the truck when you like dad couldn't hear you and stuff, and they tell you all the like crazy bad words in Mexican and Spanish, and then they'd say racist jokes about blacks, and they'd say racist jokes about whites, and they'd say racist jokes about Chinese people, and it was the Mexican guys, and they're funny. You can't not laugh. That's the thing, is that if a white person like Laura Loomer makes the joke, if they'd make that joke, it's not funny. But if you had a Mexican guy on the job site and you're working your ass off all day and you're sweating, and somebody comes along and starts making you laugh, are you going to be mad at him? Oh my God, that's racist. Oh my God. No. What if it's a Mexican and he's making jokes about white people or black people or Chinese or other Mexicans? Some of their best jokes are about making fun of themselves, siestas and all that kind of stuff. I have heard the most racist, filthiest, disgusting mouths talk on job sites, and honestly, it was the best part of my day. I'm not gonna lie. You know why? Because they're funny. Laura, I would say maybe not that funny. But did it really merit Marjorie Taylor Green lashing out at her? I guess so, because Marjorie Taylor Green and her used to be friends, and now they're not friends, and they're fighting. Please, ladies, stop fighting. Marjorie Taylor Green says this is appalling and extremely racist. It does not represent who we are as Republicans or as MAGA. This does not represent President Trump. This type of behavior should not be tolerated ever. Laura Loomer should take this down. Take it down? I mean, I don't know. Most of the Indians in India are socialist, and if they come to the United States, they tend to be more capitalist. I don't know. What's the sense of humor? I guess this is a good way to take a pulse, a reading on the general humor of the Indian community. Is it racist? Are you mad? Do you guys eat curry? Do you smell like curry? I used to live next door to Indians in Washington, D.C. for a brief time. And at that time, I didn't like Indian food, and it was very powerful, and it was like a stench, overwhelming. It would take over the apartment. I'd be kind of annoyed by it, but also kind of curious and interested. Now I love Indian food. I don't know if I would want to smell it every day, but I can say that. And there are, Indian scammers, you can't joke about Indian scammers, right? You're not allowed to listen to Jerky Boys. They kick my dog anymore. You can't laugh at that anymore. So now that Apu has been retired, it's okay to call someone who's white who makes jokes about Indians racist. Now, I thought that racist was that you are like, I'm not going to hire you and I'm going to fire you because you're black, or I'm going to do something that has negative consequences to you. Not I might have hurt your little feelings, right? Is that where we're at right now? I don't know. Even Jews can take jokes to themselves. Here's 25 minutes of people in Springfield, Ohio, first-hand residents of where people who live there are talking about their pets disappearing.
Don't wave at me, you sorry f***ing sand monkey.
There was Haitians in a white van driving around the neighborhoods, collecting cats, skinning them and eating them.
In my opinion, they're worthless. Bunch of worthless f***ing sand monkeys.
They're getting thousands of dollars in...
By the way, Haiti is not in the Middle East, and therefore the only way you could qualify them as being sand people in that sense would be if the Haitians lived on the beach, which I'm sure many of them do. They shit on the beach.
Government assistance, even the cash assistance cards, they're calling them the magic money cards because they never run out.
Managers are nothing but a headache. All they're doing is raising our rent and our taxes and wrecking vehicles.
Everybody wants to make this into a race issue. It's not a race issue. It's culture, it's accountability, and it's respect.
Since June, they took me off of, I'm a vet. They took me off of the disability.
You're a veteran and you're competing with some of the resources they're getting.
That's right. 30 minutes of that stuff. We can't play it all. We're going to have to go to a break. You got the bonus content. You unlocked it. Thanks to Cecilia and Andy Opperman. And I can't see who the other one was just yet, but I will say thank you properly. And of course, the people who made the Rumble Rant donations. Love you guys. I'm very grateful. We'll be back with Chamilia. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to goof around. And I've got a surprise for you later. Enjoy the bonus content on the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network.
Unlocking today's Wake Up America show bonus content. Today we look at the incredible true tale of a rock star saving someone's life. Jon Bon Jovi convinces woman not to jump off Nashville Bridge. Jon Bon Jovi convinced a woman not to jump off a bridge while filming a music video. The incident took place on the John Seigenthaler pedestrian bridge in Nashville as Bon Jovi was filming his song People's House. In surveillance footage shared by the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department, Bon Jovi is seen approaching the woman as she seems ready to jump. Bon Jovi and a colleague persuaded the woman to step away from the edge, ensuring her safety. Once the woman was back on the pedestrian path, Bon Jovi and she shared a hug. The bridge was open to the public when the incident occurred during the video shoot. Bon Jovi will not make any public comments to respect the woman's privacy. His JBJ Soul Foundation has equipped him with experience in crisis intervention, aiding those in homelessness, poverty, and hunger. A source emphasized that Bon Jovi did what any compassionate person would have done in that situation. Bon Jovi's foundation, started in 2006, focuses on practical solutions for homelessness, poverty, and hunger in the U.S. As the founder, he has been trained to handle crisis situations and has applied this training in real-world scenarios. Both the Nashville Fire Department and Metropolitan Nashville Police Department arrived shortly after the rescue. Police Chief John Drake commended Bon Jovi through a post on X, highlighting the importance of community support. Social media users also praised Bon Jovi, calling him a legend and a saint. The John Seigenthaler pedestrian bridge was named after a reporter who stopped a suicide attempt in the 1950s. Before the video shoot, Bon Jovi performed at the John Bon Jovi Bar in Nashville, even serving drinks to patrons. For those struggling with suicidal thoughts, resources like NYC Well and the National Suicide Prevention Hotline are available for support. galaxy not so far away, but a couple of centuries ago, a great struggle unfolded. A time of turmoil where the force of freedom clashed against the oppressive grip of tyranny. This is the story of the Founding Fathers, the brave Jedi of the colonies, who dared to defy the dark side of the Redcoat Sith. Master George Washington, leader of the colonial Jedi, was no ordinary soldier. With a flintlock blaster in one hand, capable of delivering precise shots with the power of 1,000 musket balls, and a lightsaber forged from the ancient Liberty crystals, Washington was the beacon of hope in the darkness that covered the 13 colonies. And then there was Benjamin Franklin, the Yoda of the Revolution. Wise, cunning, and always a few steps ahead, Franklin's mind was sharper than his lightsaber, which he personally modified to discharge bolts of lightning, perfect for frying any Redcoat Sith foolish enough to cross his path. But the colonial Jedi were not without opposition. The Redcoat Sith, led by the Dark Lord.
Good morning. Rise in freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network. Grateful and glad to have you here. Hope you enjoyed that bonus content. Thank you all for unlocking that. That little financial incentive really makes a big difference, and it adds up. And it's a point of personal pride. The Wake Up America show's top fans are showing that they're here to stay. We're supporting the show financially. It's going to be on every day, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Central. If you guys have anything to do with it, so grateful for your generosity and, of course, your purchases at forlibertyshop.com. Let's give it up to the big fans of the Wake Up America show. One of our biggest fans joins us live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 a.m. Central Time. She's a part of the family. Chamilia Peterson joining us live right now from Constitution Hall, almost, in Philadelphia. Yes.
Good morning. Yeah, no, we were talking about at what time we were going to go over to Constitution Hall and see the Liberty Bell and such. And they said an earlier time, and I was like, okay, that's fine. If I have to do the live from Constitution Hall, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, right? That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, exactly. Are you resisting urges to sing songs like "It's hot as hell in Philadelphia"? Somebody open up a window. No, there's too many flies. 1776 history, the musical history nerds there. Yeah, so
wearing my Constitution earrings. From
there they are. Yes,
shop, we the people, right? And so,
look at those.
These are, by the way, and I'm knocking doors. These are great conversation starters. I can't tell you how many people have given me compliments on those. So I'm hoping to add Liberty Bell earrings to my collection today.
Awesome. There you go, Chamilia. So you're going to visit the Liberty Bell today, and you're going to be at the Constitution Center. I'm really happy that you get to see all that. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I've been to many a Ron Paul rally on the grassy area outside of Constitution Hall. And, if you have the heart of a patriot, then it will definitely stir some emotions up inside of you. But the emotions that are being stirred up right now, rage, angst, pure hot, lava hot, female rage, not only directed at Donald Trump and his followers from Taylor Swift and her followers, but Marjorie Taylor Green at Laura Loomer, and now returning back on them. The drama, the controversy. Marjorie Taylor Green calls Laura Loomer racist for talking about Indian curry and call centers. And now Laura Loomer has a drop where she is strongly hinting that she has video of Marjorie Taylor Green saying the N-word. Chamilia?
Serious?
No, I'm serious. Yes, that just happened this morning. Chamilia, your take.
Well, I've made it pretty clear how I feel about Laura Loomer for a long time now. I think she's nuts, and it really bothers me a lot that she seems to be as close as she is to Trump. Like there was a picture of her getting off of his plane, when they came in for the debate the other night. So it like bothers me enormously that if she has his ear, because we know how important it is, the people that are around Trump, that we know how important that is. And so like if she's one of those, like let's just put a lid on it for the next 4 years, because like we're done. That's the influence. So, I mean, Marjorie Taylor Green and I have had our differences. Well, not that she's aware of my differences with her, but, I've had my differences with MTG for a long time, too. But I will say that, in spite of her bombastic behavior that I've kind of had a problem with sometimes, I've also seen her give some very intelligent, nuanced explanations on different issues, and I really respect that. I also really respect that it seems like over the last couple of years, she has moved much more in the direction of Thomas Massey and has collaborated with him on several things. And so that's super encouraging to me, and I've loved to see that. But yeah, MTG and I seem to have a lot more in common these days, and now with Laura, and good for her, because there are a lot of people who support Marjorie Taylor Green who are also Laura Loomer fans. And so she took a lot of heat for that, and I appreciate that she's unapologetic about it and calls balls and strikes.
Okay, I get it, but Indian call centers and the White House smelling like curry, funny or not funny?
I don't know. One way, I don't care. I guess I don't care. I'm ambivalent about it, but
That's a good answer, Chamilia.
But the thing is it depends, I think, on who you are. And if Laura Loomer is going to be in the position where she has Trump's ear, that's entirely, inappropriate. But it's also, my view on that is probably skewed some too by my overall general opinion of Laura Loomer, because she has been I've seen few people that have been as nasty and hateful as she has been to very good people for no reason, and just, and utterly based in lies a lot of times. So I don't know. I have a very low opinion of her to begin with, and that probably affects the lens I see that through.
She reminds me a little bit about a political, was it Morton Downey Jr.? I'm trying to remember the shock jock host who sort of pioneered the Jerry Springer television. It was Morton something, I can't remember his last name, but he was like a chain smoker, and he would scream at his guests, and they'd all yell at each other and all this kind of stuff. She's kind of reminds like a female non-smoking Morton character. Somebody in the chat's gonna remind me of his name. But
so here's the thing, she's, if you're doing it this is a bit and you are doing something for entertainment value, that's fine. So I guess we just need to consider what she's doing for entertainment value, except she's quite serious about it and thinks that, she does, I will give her credit, she does do some good stories sometimes, and sometimes they're completely not factual, but there are some times where she gets it right too, right? But the fact that she's supposed to be a serious journalist, right? So it doesn't sell quite as well when it's not a bit.
okay, yeah, good point. But yeah, these two ladies, we're not going to solve their problems this morning. So let's talk about let's get off the gossip and talk about things that are really important, like Taylor
More
Swift
gossip.
and Taylor. I would say here's the thing. It crosses over into the realm of more than just gossip when she wades into a political debate. She's the most powerful, richest woman in the world. And she, maybe not the richest, but certainly self-made. She's the only self-made billionaire woman, I think, in the world. Everybody else, do you know how the other billionaire females got their money, Chamilia?
Marrying billionaires?
That's correct. Yes, Stephanie. Excuse me, Chamilia. Yes, that's... Yeah, like Jeff Bezos' his ex-wife.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there.
We have a word for those,
What do we call that?
We call those gold diggers.
Gold diggers. She take my money in harmony. Yes, it's a trifling friend indeed. All right. So Taylor Swift, I laughed because this morning I saw some news story about Travis Kelce from the Kansas City Chiefs, her boyfriend, and the headline, it was only like 3 or 4 words. I don't remember it. I'm summarizing here, but it said, Taylor Swift boyfriend with huge announcement. And I was like, what's his name? It's Taylor Swift. So she kind of overshadows him to some extent.
Oh, yeah.
He may not know what he's in for when he gets into it. I don't know if he's watched any of her music videos where she's like a psychopath and the makeup is dripping down her face and she's like stabbing portraits and talking about how jealousy, drives her and all this kind of stuff. He may not know what he's getting into. Taylor Swift knows what she's getting into. She's activated her cult of the Sacred Vagina. and is unleashing them all on us like the flying monkeys. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da, from the Wizard of Oz, right? Fly, my pretties, fly. And all these overweight, mentally ill, transgender, teenage, sub-teenage tweeners are on the attack. Most of them can't vote, I would think, but the ones who do probably are going to vote for Kamala Harris because of her. Your take?
Sure. Well, and I think that people who dismiss the impact of her doing something like this are underestimating her influence, because they're like, you and I are like, heck no, we're not going to do something that, some pop star, says we should, whatever. That is not the masses of men and women and girls. Like, they will give that a lot of credence and weight, and they will go do that. So
Rihanna took her clothes off and said, "Vote Joe Biden." I guess I better do it.
Oh, well, everybody has their line.
How do we contend against that, Chamilia? It's rather embarrassing for your gender.
Well, it is. I mean, this is true. I do.
I mean, these women should be ashamed of themselves if they do that. Like, these are women who've never been properly shamed because they've been told everything that they do is perfect and magical and sparkly as Taylor Swift's dress, right? And they've never had the reality of life punch them in the face before. And so then they basically take their first world problems and they commit to comparing them to actual people with real problems and suggest that they're victims instead of the people who rule the world. Taylor Swift and her army of minions are some of the most powerful, most protected people that have ever existed in all of human history.
So, and I think that a lot of people would chalk this up to, rightfully so, the effects of feminism, right? But yeah. I look at this, and this is faux feminism. This is not women, women who are following Taylor Swift. And, when she says something like that she's voting for Kamala Harris because, quote, she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. What does that mean? That's just as word salady as Kamala Harris. I mean, it's just, what are those rights and causes? Can you articulate that a little better? Because the people who are following her that would actually go vote just based on her word, they're not being strong, intelligent women who are making their own decisions. That's, they're not being feminists, so to speak. They're literally just being, sheep that are following, a pop star. And so it just cracked me up to no end yesterday when I saw Elon tweet at Taylor Swift and tell her that, fine, if you want to be like the childless cat lady, he's like, I'll donate a child and I'll defend your cats to my death or whatever.
Wait. Now let's get this story straight here before we get messed up, because this is actually a really big part of this is that after Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris, Elon Musk said he's going to give her a baby.
Yes.
And I mean,
how do you feel about that?
Listen, here's the thing. First of all, that is funny. Laura Loomer's was kind of but Elon's was hilarious.
Yes.
But the left is very disturbed by this. Fainting couches aplenty because of this joke.
Sure.
They can't take a joke, obviously.
So misogynistic, right?
Oh, yes.
I mean, yeah.
I'm going to give you a baby, woman,
Right.
I don't know. If you had the balls, if you're good looking enough and you had the balls to say something like that to a woman, she probably looked like Kamala Harris did in the debate the other night when Trump told her to shut up, get a little hot. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, the thing is it just, I guess kind of alongside that, you've got Taylor Swift, influencing her people, but then you have Elon Musk, who has become the hero of the right. I mean, everybody's been looking around on the right for the last several years saying, where's our champion that is going to fight for us or whatever. And I think people have thought that that's Donald Trump. And no, that's not Donald Trump. It is Elon Musk. And he has just been unreserved in this character story arc that he's been on. He's been unabashed in putting his opinions out there about, you know, his journey to the right on so many things. And we've seen things come out, you know, with the trans issue and his own, you know, child, that have obviously influenced that journey. And we know now that there are very real reasons for why he has arrived at this point, because he was, you know, terribly and personally impacted. So it just is. So I guess, you know, Kamala has Taylor Swift. We have Elon Musk. Does it balance it out?
There's an entitlement that is swirling around the Swifties, right? That the world owes them something. The world owes them this. That because there are so many of them, and because they can bully people online, they can act like the girl in high school who was the bitch who decided to make everyone's lives miserable for whatever reason. She would pit people against one another, right? She would do all these things, and she would act like some some villain, often in like a Hollywood tale. There's always one in every high school, right? But now they're weaponized, right? It's not just the hatred and the conniving and the backstabbing and the feminine evil that they are unleashing is no longer limited to their high schools. It's out on social media, it's out in the world, and it's coming to a ballot box near you. And the entitlement comes in because it's like, if you dare question these people, if you dare question these women, if you dare even hint of disagreement, even amongst their own ranks, they will target you, they will persecute you, they will dox you, they will try to embarrass you. And it just strikes me as I can do no wrong. Everything that I do, everything that she does is sacred. Everything that we do is sacred because we're girls. We have girl power. We're girl bosses. It's the cult of the sacred vagina. And I don't bow down to it. A lot of men do. Those simps, those Captain Savahos, those beta males, they worship at the door saying, please, sir, may I have a crumb of pussy? And the girls don't respect them, don't like them. They use them as useful idiots. Men like me do quite well just by saying, we don't give a shit what you ladies think about things like our hobbies on video games or collecting trophies or all that kind of stuff. And ironically, that's the magic juice to get a girl to like you. But there's a cult, Chamilia. It's a cult. They worship the vagina. It's called the Yoni cult, actually. If you Google that, this might be the first time you've ever heard of this. YONI. It's the cult of the sacred vagina. And frankly, I'm sick of it. And ladies need to take a little bit of a back seat because you've been in the driver's seat and you're bad drivers. Ladies, how do you respond? Chamilia? I know that's very unfair.
No, well, here's the thing. To me, it is heartbreaking in a lot of ways because I think it does such a disservice to young women and girls right now, because we've talked about this before. It is setting them up for failure, because the reality is that the vast majority of women do want a long-term relationship. They want to settle down with a man who loves them and that they can love. And, you know, they don't always, I think, realize that they want a family. But when it comes down to it, when they realize that when it gets to be too late, you know, and then all of a sudden, when it's almost too late, they decide that they really do want a family. And they've been set up for failure. And like Taylor Swift, you know, she's been the girl boss example and of having it all, right? But actually it's one long string of one heartbreak after another, and it makes for good music. But I think it has to make for a pretty miserable life. I mean, I think that, you know, women look at her from the outside looking in and they see, you know, she looks glamorous everywhere she goes. She's got the football boyfriend now, right? I mean, you know, she looks like she has the perfect life. I guarantee you, like, there's the side that nobody else sees publicly. And that's not happiness. that does not make a person happy when they're all alone in the dark and there's nobody, and the fawning fans are not around, to adore them.
We used to talk about how Disney had sold little girls a fantasy of princesses and knights and Prince Charmings and things like that. But what's really interesting is that as Disney has gotten darker in the fantasies that they sell, with the girl boss power, Rey from Star Wars, you know what a Mary Sue is, Chamilia? A trope of a Mary Sue. It's okay if you don't. I was just curious. I didn't want to explain if you do.
Exactly.
A Mary Sue, it's a trope where in a movie or in a comic book or a piece of entertainment or art, what have you, the woman is incapable of doing anything wrong. And everything that she does is perfect the first time. So a perfect example of this would be the movie Mulan. Did you see the original Disney film Mulan, the cartoon version? No.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's been a long time, so I don't remember everything, but I did see it.
Do you remember there was a great song in it? Let's get down to business. Be a man. You must be swift as. And Mulan, it goes through this trial and this tribulation where she's suffering. Right, she has to go through a period of pain and suffering and struggle and overcome her weaknesses. She actually comes up with interesting ways to overcome her difficulties compared to the men that she had to fight, and became a warrior in her own right. And so she's respected. She's when it's found out that she's a woman, and there have been women in history who have done things like this. It actually happened during the Civil War. Yep. Incredible stories, incredible of women in combat. But when it came to Mulan, the new Disney movie, the remake, she didn't have to go through the trial or tribulation. She was good. She was perfect every time that she tried. So Disney is no longer selling them, you're a princess, you're beautiful, Prince Charming has come to save you. Now it's much darker. You're a girl boss. Everything that you do is right and cannot be questioned. It's the cult of the sacred vagina. Right. It's owed to you because you're a woman. Because you're a woman. Right?
It's like, original feminists would just be rolling in their graves at this thought, because the idea was not to be handed everything, on a silver platter. It was to let them have the space to, cultivate their skills and to have a chance to be on, a level playing ground, not in the guarantee, but in the opportunity to do so. People think it's this entitlement sense in America where you are, there's equity. You're guaranteed to have this, American dream outcome. No, you are guaranteed to have the opportunity to do the hard work and to prove yourself and to make a way for yourself. It's always the foundation of America, and it should be for feminism as well. It has been the idea that you can work hard and you can prove yourself and you can develop your skills so that you can achieve those goals. And it's not equal. Not everybody's going to be able to do that. But yeah, it's so destructive, and it's destructive to a young woman's character to be said that you are owed this and you don't have to do anything for it, because eventually they will hit a wall where it's not going to just be handed to them. There's an end point to that where they're not going to get further just because it's owed to them. And how unsatisfying is that? Even if they do reach that, to get something and know deep inside that you've done nothing to earn that.
As a father of a daughter, I think frequently about what the stages are that are coming and how we will deal with situations like discipline. I loved your story about making your daughter put her nose to the refrigerator, and that somehow drove her insane for whatever reason. I love the ideas like that. But I fear for her, for not how she will be treated and raised in our household, but for how what the rest of the world is telling her and how she'll be treated. And I completely understand why people homeschool their kids when they see this kind of content and they see this kind of attitude. Combating it at home by raising daughters who aren't idiots who would vote for how a rock star tells them, that's probably the biggest part of what I can do. But stretching outside of my home in the political realm, how do you combat this kind of heinous female ignorance when any attack on them as a group, when they act as a group, is considered an attack based on stereotypes or ridiculous notions that are misogynist and sexist, blah, blah, blah. Like, how do you attack that blob, that amorphous blob of fatties and transgender and mental illness, and some, I assume, are good people?
I mean, I think well, first of all, it starts at home, and you have to be very intentional about it, right? The fact that you're already aware of it and know that it's an issue, you are, by virtue of that, going to have an enormous head start on most parents, right? But I do think when people are looking at, where you send your kids to school, I think there's a Vadi Bakum quote about, don't be surprised if you send your kids to Caesar to be educated and they come out as Romans, right? Or something like that.
Yeah,
But,
don't be surprised. Yeah, don't say that clearly so people can write that down.
Right.
I would get a lot of people like that. Say it again.
So I'm somewhat paraphrasing, but don't be surprised if you send your kids to be educated by Caesar if they come out as Romans.
Thank you.
And so that is, I think that when you talk about education in particular, our education system is so collectivist, and by virtue of its structure in how we segregate the classes and the groups and everything like that, because they don't have, if you are only surrounded by your peers that are all the same level as you for so much of the time, there's so much that you're missing out on. And that mob mentality just really does in a lot of ways rise to the top. And I think that especially in formative years for kids in education, when you're talking about grade school and maybe even junior high, I think those years are especially more important to consider what your education options are going to be. Because if you are sending them to our public school system in its current iteration, like, you are going to have to work so hard at home to unlearn all of the things they're learning there.
And I think it's a valid criticism. In you have this weird juxtaposition. We have parents who are overly parenting, they're helicopter kids, and then you get a lot of parents who dad doesn't know how to raise a daughter. Right? Dad doesn't think about the different ways that men and women and boys and girls think. He didn't grow up as a girl. I'm saying this as, thinking about these things myself. And so it's difficult to deal with the complexities of raising a daughter emotionally. And I'm about to find out, right? I know that I'm going to be surprised and shocked by things. I'll try and be as ready and capable as I can, but I can imagine there must be a lot of dads out there who aren't thinking about how their daughters are being swayed by the ways of the world. I don't see
there's a balance.
Yeah.
So there's a balance, between protecting your kids and between also exposing them to adversity. And you have to have that balance, because you need to prepare your child for the path, not, prepare the path for them, because it is so, so important for your kids to be able to have the wherewithal to stand on their own 2 feet against the tide. And some kids, just by nature, like, there's something within some kids that it's easier for them to do that than others. There are kids who, they have no control over that, and it's not necessarily a parenting issue, but it is much more difficult for them to stand against the tide of popularity. And so that's where, for that child, parents need to come in and do what needs to be done to support their child and make sure that they know that it's okay, but also understanding that it's a very real struggle. It doesn't make them, less of a person because it's more difficult for them.
Chamilia, how much more time do I have with you? It's 8:30. I normally would let you go by this, but I kind of wanted to ask you about Ben Baker and the Haiti stuff. Do you have a few minutes or no?
I do have to run.
Okay, all right.
Meet everybody in about 2 minutes.
Okay. Well, you were generous with your time, and I know you're going to have a lot of fun today. Make sure you try and get there as early as possible, too. I don't want to keep you because I know that the lines can get pretty long over there. So, Chamilia, thank you very much for that. Thank you for not bowing to the cult of the sacred vagina, considering that you have one. And, of course, those beautiful earrings are at forlibertyshop.com. Right. Anything else you want to share or promote before we go?
Nope. I just hope that everybody has a good day and keep up the good work.
Both teams have fun. Okay. Chamilia, we appreciate you.
Have a good day.
See you later, CJ. Yes, we love Chamilia. She helped us out on a thirsty Thursday. We were a little dry, but unfortunately, Daniela Pensack will not be here today. She had a little family issue and a snafu, and she had to go. So, but I do have a little surprise for you. This is something that I've kind of been teasing out for a few days now, and I think I've got it ready to go with you. I'm really excited about this new segment that I've been working on. We're going to call it Let's take a look. Let's make sure we get to it. We're going to call it. Bow to your sensei. All right, so welcome to our new scene. This is the fun little surprise that I have for you. I'm going to have to mess with the video here in real time, just kind of widen it up for you. But as some of you may have heard, if you've been listening the last few days, I got hired for the very first time as a Japanese karate instructor here at Jefferson City Parks and Recs. So the very first time that I go from student to teacher, right? Yes. Wax on, wax off. Yes. And so now we have a new scene for you and a new segment that we are starting called Bow to Your Sensei. And this is your dojo, and I am your sensei, Austin Peterson. What's happening, guys? And it's just such a small thing, right? It's for the Parks and Rec department. It's not like I'm teaching like at a Japanese dojo in Japan, which I'm sure I would never qualify for something like that. But you know, it's a big fish, little pond situation for me. And they call me, they need me. You know what? Great. You're a professional instructor now. Now you're a sensei. So bow to your sensei. So what this new segment is it's going to be me reacting to fight videos and talking to you a little bit about my experience with martial arts, which I have combined about 20 years of experience in Japanese karate, 2 different styles, as well as a Hawaiian Kempo style. And of course, I've studied other martial arts, but not as intricately and for as long and seriously as Japanese karate. So I am only a sensei in that style and know of that style. I do know other styles, and I know the history of martial arts to a certain extent, but I'm not a self-defense practitioner in the sense that I teach you street like knife fights and things like that. Like, I'm teaching you basic open hand combat. And of course, as a Second Amendment guy, I would always say you should be staying strapped, right? You should be carrying and using your Second Amendment rights. You don't want to get in a fight. Remember Mr. Miyagi, right? That even if you win, you lose. Right? Even if you win a knife fight, you still lose because somebody's going to the hospital and somebody's going to the morgue that night. So I'm going to give you the best training that I can based on what I've studied, what I've experienced, not as a police officer, not as a trained security professional for a corporation or in the military, just as a 20-year martial artist for Japan. So I just want to get that all straight out there in case somebody grabs a clip in the future like, look at this idiot, what he's saying. There's the caveat. So sucker punches are the type of encounter that you're most likely to experience in a situation where you have to use self-defense. The question here for most things is it self-defense? Let's take a look at this video here, and then we'll back it up and we'll analyze it, okay?
We're gonna get your license plate, bro.
Make a move. Make him swing.
Bro, you literally walked up to him.
Swing on me. I'll fucking knock each and every you guys one out.
Just understand that in these situations, it should be understood that there is going to be, in an altercation, potentially the use of swear words and things like that. Just an FYI.
You wouldn't do shit.
I'll let you get the first hit. I'll let you get the first hit. I'll let you get the first hit.
Don't put that hand
punk
on
ass
face
fucking
again.
bitches. Do something. Take a swing.
He ain't gonna do anything.
Take a swing.
Hey! Nah, you just got knocked out, bro.
Alex.
Oh, he just got knocked out, bitch. You like that? You just got knocked out and you're acting all big. You like that?
Okay, yeah, no, you didn't get knocked out because he got punched. He got sucker punched by you because, you know, maybe you're a little bitch, and maybe he's the problem, and we don't know what the situation here is in this one. But herein, as I will say repeatedly on the Bow to Your Sensei segment, is that best defense, no be there, right? Listen to Mr. Miyagi. Don't get into shouting matches. Your ego is not your friend. You should not be getting into all verbal altercations with strangers. It is too easy, especially when you get in there like this guy with the sunglasses and approach these individuals. They're wearing masks. You don't know who they are, what they're carrying. Just like the other day, I showed you that transgender individual who brought out the axe and used that axe to slam a guy in the face and then another woman in the back of the head, crushing her skull with it. But first best defense, no be there. Secondly, you're getting in these people's faces. You shouldn't be doing it. You're acting as an aggressor. How stupid is this guy when you're not putting your hands up? You should be backing away, not putting your chest into people's faces. You should not be provoking any kind of a conflict. And in this situation or in this scenario, he made it. You can see clearly the mistake that he made. Where are your hands, buddy? Look at this. Here you could see this is the most realistic kind of a situation of a scenario. That you're on the street. This guy, he didn't get knocked out. He rolled, he got back up, and it's a situation where these guys have got cameras and it's 3-on-1. This guy's in a beard. They're obviously pulling pranks or doing something like that. Maybe they're the bad guys in this situation, maybe not, right? Why are you covering your faces, right? But you absolutely have the right to record in public, and it looks like that's what these gentlemen are doing. Maybe they're on a set. It looks like they're in perhaps Southern California. You could see the palm trees there, or in Southern Florida. But in this particular clip, for example, nobody does anything to de-escalate the situation, as Quest Fanning has noted. Everybody is intensifying the heat on this one. Here's the thing. Your ego will get you killed. It's not worth it. It's not worth getting stabbed in the chest. The moment that you get stabbed is the moment that you're going to realize that it wasn't worth it. And, as a man, we all have our egos, right? We don't like people dissing us or talking smack to us. Like, people can get under our skin, whatever, don't do it. It's just words. Just walk away, right? Instead, this guy now might have a bruise or maybe even a fracture in his jaw to take home for it. He's got to go get a very expensive doctor's visit. And so, what did we learn here? Well, we learned that, de-escalation of arguments is important. We learned that, if you are in a conflict, you need to keep your hands up. You need to keep, I don't want any trouble. I don't want any trouble, like Jackie Chan. Just be like Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan doesn't start stuff. I don't want any trouble. I don't want any trouble. Boom, boom, boom. Then he starts punching and kicking and ruling everybody. So this is our new segment called Bow to Your Sensei. How am I doing? Where I use my 20 years experience in martial arts and Japanese karate to talk to you a little bit about open hand combat. And of course, we all mentioned that when it comes to weapons and things like that, I'm trained in specifically open hand, on your feet, knockout fighting. That's what I'm trained in. And of course, there are way more. It's an incomplete school of self-defense if you do not have ground and grappling training, which I only have a little bit of. I always strive to learn more, but it's just that is where my area of expertise is. So I can't speak to how this gentleman could have behaved for jujitsu, for example, but that's just not what happened. Actually, as a matter of fact, for you guys, so I told you this was going to be a special segment. I want to show you guys this very brief clip, and I might pull up another one for you, but this is only a 6-second clip of a longer video that I might try and show for you. But this is actually one of the schools of Japanese karate that I studied. And this is in India, where they were practicing and training this school called Kyokushin Karate, which means ultimate truth. And in this 6-second clip, you can see they were holding a karate class outdoors at a temple in India, something out of Street Fighter. And some street punk decides to come up and challenge them, thinking that he can beat up these karate guys. Well, I'll hopefully find the full video for you here in just a moment. But I think this 6 seconds here, you can see this is at the higher end, the higher level of what we learn in Japanese karate of what you can do for, well, quote unquote, self-defense. But this is sparring. It just happens to be on the street. Now, this happens a lot. People dojo storm. They're not trained. They show up to dojos. They think that they can beat up anybody in class, and they get their butt beat by like a brown belt or something like that. Bodybuilders and all this kind of stuff. This guy's a skinny little punk walking into a place where people are training Kyokushin Karate, which is a very, very hardcore version. It's a closer to combat self-defense style of karate because the conditioning involved. But let's just watch these moves. Watch how fast he moves to take out his opponent. Right there in under 6 seconds, you can see with 2 roundhouse kicks, one called Mawashi Geri, and then the other one, an Ura Mawashi Geri reverse roundhouse kick. You can see, boom, the roundhouse kick to the stomach. All of a sudden, Indian kid here is having a bad day. He realizes he's in deep trouble. Watch the movement of the Kyokushin practitioner. Here comes the inside kick, and then he steps down and then spins around, which throws his opponent off. He doesn't know where the attack is coming from. He does the spin. He thinks that the kick is coming from below. See how he's blocking down? He thinks that the kick is going to come to his legs because the kick has come to his legs before. And then you can see the Kyokushin practitioner with a beautiful Ura Mawashi kick right there. That is a gorgeous straight line coming straight for his head. That is an Ura Mawashi, and then that is an actual knockout. Well done. Somebody's saying, can I enlarge the clip screen? I will do that for you guys. Yeah, sorry about that, Joni. I'm still working on this one for you guys to make it look nice. And so I will make the clip larger, but I will have to get rid of the black areas more. So it's you can see the dojo in the background. I want everything to look beautiful for you guys. It's just that certain things are what they are. Okay, here we go. So let's watch it one more time here. 7 seconds. 1, 2. Lights out. So for those of you who are interested, that's my style of Japanese karate, Japanese martial arts. Goes to make sure that he's okay. So great new segment, says Kermode Bear. Thank you, Kermode. Appreciate very much the support, you guys. So bow to your sensei. New segment here on For Liberty Network. I'm always looking for ways to upgrade your experience here on the podcast and to make the show more entertaining and useful to you. And you guys have treated me with purchases at my shop, Rumble Rant donations. It's a really great back and forth. And I just really love the relationship that I have with my audience because it's so positive, and we get very few people in here who are disruptive, who are being hateful. And I don't want to say it's an echo chamber, right? You could have a danger of that if you don't have people in here who are kind of like calling you out on that. But I feel like you guys do that for sure. So I appreciate that you guys are in here and that we can have a good friendship and not be adversarial in the mornings and just have a good time and really just build a healthy community. And I see that we've got our friends LW78 and Clifford Miller and John Knox over on YouTube this morning. It's nice to see you guys. I imagine we probably have a decent audience over on X. Looks like we do. Over 1,058 people joining us live over on X.com. Just an FYI. For those of you who are watching us over on X.com, if you'd like to join the community and be a part of the For Liberty Network, then now's a great time for you to head on over to rumble.com/AP for Liberty. Join us in the live chat, which I will activate on your screen right meow. Boom. And hang out with all of our friends in the Rumble chat. But if you'd like even more and you want direct access to people like me, and unfortunately Daniela Pensac, who couldn't be here today, but if you'd like to message with her or with the boys from the new show Liberty Tonight that are coming this fall to our network, then head on over to rumble.com/AP for Liberty. Underneath the video itself, if you close the live chat, you'll be able to see the locals page, which is where people are going to be hanging out and building our For Liberty Network. So it's a great place to connect. Good morning, Rib. If you're a cat, I hope that you see you meowing over there in the chat. If you are a cat, I hope that you are not living in Springfield, Ohio, for your own sake. So Drew, who sent me a message, how319, where is the chat? See, that's the thing. People don't really know how to get into the X.com chat, and that's kind of the problem with the X.com chat. So you have to like click on the title of the video, and then only verified people on X can actually do it. So Lord Myran just joined from X. It's working. It's working. How to your sensei should be on your soundboard, Austin. You're absolutely right. Great, Ray J. I had to rush it this morning to get all the sound things. This is what I have so far for the Bow to Your Sensei soundboard. I have this.
Rule number 1. A man can't stand. He can't fight.
I have this.
Even if you win, you lose.
And I have this, of course.
Wax on, wax off.
Wax on, wax off. And of course, when we start the segment, Bow to Your Sensei, we got to have this. Nothing's going to ever keep you down. From now on,
it's going to be America first, okay? America first.
America first. God bless you all. I hope you all have a wonderful day. We got about 10 to 12 minutes left on the Wake Up America show. But now is a good time for me to share with you a little bit of our bonus content from the For Liberty shop. I've got another segment to share with you, but if a lot of people who are tuning in now haven't seen yet the bonus content with a celebrity angle, Bon Jovi, the singer, saved somebody's life. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Enjoy the bonus content on the For Liberty Network's Wake Up America show.
Unlocking today's Wake Up America show bonus content. Today we look at the incredible true tale of a rock star saving someone's life. John Bon Jovi convinces woman not to jump off Nashville Bridge. John Bon Jovi convinced a woman not to jump off a bridge while filming a music video. The incident took place on the John Siegenthaler pedestrian bridge in Nashville as Bon Jovi was filming his song People's House. In surveillance footage shared by the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department, Bon Jovi is seen approaching the woman as she seems ready to jump. Bon Jovi and a colleague persuaded the woman to step away from the edge, ensuring her safety. Once the woman was back on the pedestrian path, Bon Jovi and she shared a hug. The bridge was open to the public when the incident occurred during the video shoot. Bon Jovi will not make any public comments to respect the woman's privacy. His JBJ Soul Foundation has equipped him with experience in crisis intervention, aiding those in homelessness, poverty, and hunger. A source emphasized that Bon Jovi did what any compassionate person would have done in that situation. Bon Jovi's foundation, started in 2006, focuses on practical solutions for homelessness, poverty, and hunger in the U.S. As the founder, he has been trained to handle crisis situations and has applied this training in real-world scenarios. Both the Nashville Fire Department and Metropolitan Nashville Police Department arrived shortly after the rescue. Police Chief John Drake commended Bon Jovi through a post on X, highlighting the importance of community support. Social media users also praised Bon Jovi, calling him a legend and a saint. The John Siegenthaler pedestrian bridge was named after a reporter who stopped a suicide attempt in the 1950s. Before the video shoot, Bon Jovi performed at the John Bon Jovi Bar in Nashville, even serving drinks to patrons. For those struggling with suicidal thoughts, resources like NYC Well and the National Suicide Prevention Hotline are available for support.
Great news, and it's nice to see a heartwarming, uplifting story for once from Bon Jovi, nonetheless. Glad you're here. We've got about 10 minutes left on the Wake Up America show, and this story, I'm glad I remembered this. Went to go check my rundown. Reminded me of another story. It's kind of interesting because this is something that a lot of like alt-right populists, right-wingers, hardcore paleocons and people like that have talked a little bit about. Men in dresses, right? We're obviously all talking about the trans issue in this country, right? But there's transgender, and then there's transsexual, and then there's transvestite. Transvestite just used to be a man who likes to wear a dress, but still fancies girls, right? Still likes girls, but a man who wears women's clothing. People just, that's what Eddie Izzard used to be, or at least that's how he used to describe himself. Eddie Izzard, the comedian, have you guys heard of him? Some of his stand-up is just riotously funny, especially if you like history, which is, it's the weirdest thing ever. But if you watch Eddie Izzard Dressed to Kill from back in the 90s, it was so funny. If you can get through the first 10 minutes and kind of get the humor, you'll get it, right? But anyways, transvestites, right? Men who wear women's clothes, but still fancy girls. It's, yeah, I mean, do what you do, as long as it doesn't spook the horses. Well, this story yesterday about Will Ferrell talking about wearing a dress reminded me of a story that we used to talk about where Dave Chappelle would talk about being a comedian or in Hollywood and being a black man wearing a dress. Will Ferrell, talking about Saturday Night Live regrets, says about wearing a dress, that's something I wouldn't choose to do now. So Will Ferrell has been the center of online conversations after the trailer for his new Netflix documentary called Will and Harper had gotten a lot of praise online. People were interested. The documentary centers on the relationship between Will and his best friend, Harper Steele, as they go out on a cross-country road trip. Harper and Will met in the 90s when they worked together on SNL. In 2022, Harper came out as a transgender woman. The film premiered at the Sundance Festival as Will told Variety he had zero knowledge about the trans community, before Harper came out to him over email. He said he met trans people, but he didn't know anyone personally in his life, he said. So this was new territory for me, which is why I think this film is exciting for us to kind of put out there in the world. So Will Ferrell is doing a Netflix documentary about a friend of his who is now transgender, and he's talking about everything that he's learned. So you can guess that Will Ferrell is talking about the reasons why he would not put on a dress because he didn't want to appear to be, of course, insensitive to his close friend. And that's what this documentary explores. Here's Will with his friend Harper. Here you can see up on the screen. The people who listen later will need to join us live. It's much more fun in the mornings on video, I promise you. I get it. Everybody has busy schedules these days, but it was met with warm reception. Here's Will again with Harper. You can see the photographs. And Will is talking about, I guess you might say, cultural sensitivity. We all remember him as Janet Reno, right? Remember the Janet Reno dance party? He would dress like Janet Reno. So he probably regrets it, right? His impersonation of former United States Attorney General Janet Reno, which the interviewer said hits a false note now. Interesting. So Harper agreed that the old impersonation kind of bums her out because it relies on the notion that a guy in a dress is funny. Okay. Now listen, I hate bullies, right? I hate people that go out there and find a person who is weak and pick on them and do all these kinds of things. But the transgender lobby in the United States, and if you have a Netflix documentary about you, maybe you're not quite so weak, right? Here's the thing. And we're going to talk about I've got Dave Chappelle, a clip from him. He's talking about not wearing a dress for a completely different reason. But it was, a man in a dress is inherently funny, and that's why people do it, and that's why we all laughed at Will Ferrell in the 1990s. You can't just turn it off like a spigot and then all of a sudden just say something's not funny when it so clearly is, right? When men show up at parties dressed like a woman as a joke, people laugh because it's funny. It's ridiculous, the concept, okay? We don't have to take every man in a dress absolutely seriously, unless they're like the transgender person the other day that I showed in the video where they had an axe in their hands and a knife in their back pocket and swang it to hit someone in the face with an axe, and then hit another person in the back of the skull with an axe. Then I guess, yeah, we should probably be very careful and cautious about what we say about a certain person like that. But that's because that person is obviously facing a severe mental illness, which leads us to a conversation about this one and just how seriously we have to take men in dresses. I mean, to a certain extent, I really don't think that the rest of society should have to accommodate people who want to live alternative lifestyles other than granting them their God-given, individual, natural, endowed by their creator rights that every adult human on this planet gets, right? And it blurs the line when we're talking about indoctrinating children in schools or anything when it comes to minors or transition surgery for minors or things like that, which I think is a separate issue. But adults, if we're just talking about adults here, you can't tell me that a man in a dress doing a segment like you did in the 1990s, Will Ferrell, where you dress like Janet Reno, wasn't one of the funniest things that has been seen on Saturday Night Live for a long time. It might be the last time that we've actually seen something funny on Saturday Night Live, but that's neither here nor there. The question of a man in a dress, how much respect must be given? Well, how much is being given? When you watch Eddie Izzard, a man in a dress, doing his stand-up sketch, Dressed to Kill, you feel a certain respect for him because he has a respect for his audience. He even explains in his Dressed to Kill stand-up special from San Francisco what he is, how he is. He seems to respect the audience, and respect is granted and gifted. And it's not just given because you're wearing a dress. You don't just get to be treated with extra special privileges because you're a man in a dress. You deserve the same respect as all of God's creatures in creation, but not extra special treatment because you have either a disorder, a mental illness, or a kink, right? But let's be honest, what part of this is. You choose to live your life that way, and you should be able to do so in a free country. This isn't Saudi Arabia, but it is the United States, and we do have cultures and norms and values and mores. And one of the things that makes us different is that we do have a sense of humor. We're going to keep it, GD it. We're going to keep it. Will has the woke mind virus. So true. Here's Dave Chappelle talking about not wearing a dress for a different reason. Take a listen to Dave Chappelle and his experience talking to Oprah about a man in a dress. Take a listen.
I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers got to wear a dress. That's happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on, and what? A prostitute? No, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave. Listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Milton Berle? You know, we're going like this. And then finally he's like, and he leaves. And then, like, the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. What is wrong? What is this, Brokeback Mountain in here? So wear the dress. I don't want to wear the dress. I want to wear this dress. You know what I mean? This is, oh, gosh, this guy's so difficult. They leave. Now the producers comes, come on, David, would be so great. I mean, and then I started thinking about it. All the comics that I've seen, man, you know, strong brothers, why they be putting us in these dresses? But the minute it was clear, I was adamant, I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. That comes back 10 minutes later, the whole new scene. Hot damn, how did you write the scene so fast? You know, it's like, so you gotta take a sting.
There's a lot to unpack there. It's a humiliation ritual, right? They want them to embarrass themselves because the more that the elite have on you, the more dirt that they can dig up, the more power they have over you. Right? They want Dave Chappelle to crack. They want him to stop making transgender jokes. They want him to wear a dress. They want him to be humiliated. They want Will Ferrell to come out and say, you must take these people seriously and I will never wear a dress because it's not funny. It's all about power. And you can't tell me that these people don't have power, because they clearly do. And if they can try and force someone like Dave Chappelle, who is a multi-millionaire and has FU money, can say and do whatever he wants, they're doing it to Dave Chappelle. Think about what they're doing to the other people in Hollywood. Right? Think about the influence that these people have, these leftist, elitist Hollywood billionaires, these Harvey, what's his name, the rapist, I can't remember his last name, Harvey Weinstein, right? Like all of these guys. Harvey Weinstein is just the guy who got caught, right? All of these sick, twisted, perverted individuals, and they want to normalize it, and they want to pretend like they're victims, when really they're some of the most powerful people in the world. Don't let them tell you otherwise. Hope you enjoyed the show today. Hope you enjoyed the new segment, Bow to Your Sensei. Yes. You're the best. Thank you very much for tuning into the show today. Thank you so much for watching us. We're grateful for all of your support. As you exit today, we like to say, what do? You exit through the Griff Shop at 4libertyshop.com. The number 4, libertyshop.com. I saw somebody became a monthly member over on our locals page. Thank you. If you didn't know, If you go to forlibertyshop.com, we have incredible coffee that I designed, my wife and I, lovely Stephanie, who will be on the show tomorrow, designed. So make sure that you check out Founding Flavors Coffee at forlibertyshop.com. When you see the price, don't freak out. Just remember that that includes shipping. Okay, so that's shipped to your front door. A lot of the name brand top dollar coffees are right about, they'll show you that they're cheaper, but then once you get to shipping, it's like worse, right? So make sure that you visit forlibertyshop.com as you exit the show today, the number 4, libertyshop.com, and we'll be very grateful to have you come back and join us again tomorrow on the For Liberty Shop's Freedom Family Friday. So my beautiful wife will be joining us. My beautiful baby will be joining us. And we're going to have another surprise related to that tomorrow. So you definitely want to come back and check that out. So surprises, fun, new segments, new shows coming, tons of reasons to watch the Wake Up America show, shopping, coffee, merch. It's the best Wake Up America show that there is. It's one of like maybe half a dozen Wake Up America shows that there are out there. So please do support the show visiting the shop, forlibertyshop.com. Click like if you haven't yet. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys here tomorrow on the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network. Bye, guys. Have a good one. Love y'all.
And I approve this message. Believe me, Austin Peterson is the best. He's got the greatest Wake Up America show I've ever seen. Whenever I tune in the mornings and watch the live stream, let me tell you, he has got the absolute best content. I love his guests. It's just a total blast to watch, and I highly endorse and recommend the Wake Up America show. It's terrific, believe me.
Is the outdoor of your home about as exciting as a library? Then spice it up and unbore your space with our custom metal signs. Crafted with love and a bit of libertarian magic, you can customize your own metal sign at ap4libertyshop.com. So head to ap4libertyshop.com, customize your own metal sign today.
Welcome to a world of vocal discovery at Peterson Voice Studio. I'm Justin Peterson, here to guide your musical journey. Envision a place where your voice reaches new heights, where every note tells a story. We embrace all singers, from the enthusiastic shower vocalists to aspiring stars, ensuring each voice finds its unique rhythm and tone. Are you ready to elevate your voice? Visit petersonvoicestudio.com and sign up for remote lessons tailored just for you. Let's begin this melodious journey together.
Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Get your day started with Washington's Revolutionary Roast. As robust and principled as the man himself, this blend is the shot of energy heard round the world. Or maybe you want to taste the fervor of freedom with Adams's Patriotic Perk. It's as dynamic and balanced as the U.S. Constitution, sure to awaken your spirit of liberty. For the aficionados, we've got the Jeffersonian Java, a complex mix of flavors that speaks volumes about your refined tastes. And don't forget Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, our decaf option, crafted with the same care and dedication Betsy Ross put into our Star-Spangled Banner. This blend lets you enjoy the taste of freedom anytime without losing sleep. No woke beans here, folks. Just pure, patriotic, pro-freedom flavors brewed with love for liberty. So why compromise your principles for a cup of coffee? Stand up for your values, perk up your patriotism, and start your day the American way. Get your Founding Flavors at ap4libertyshop.com.